Hello.
Welcome to the weekly wrap-up. Now we are live in Getting Started in Crypto, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and missing one.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Are you sure on Instagram? You click go on that?
Yeah, I've clicked it this time. So we're there. So hi, Instagram.
Yeah, excellent.
I knew I forgot one. I'm like, hang on, there's one more.
Yeah, and the never-ending growth of social media networks that we seem to stream on. But yeah,
crazy.
all good. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world. And technical issues sorted out. We're back live. Hopefully, I can see people in the chat, so it seems to be working.
No, my Wi-Fi is still a bit dodgy today, so I'm tethered to my phone. So we'll see.
Okay.
Phone's fully charged.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So how are things looking?
Things are still a bit boring, sideways. Alts are ugly. I'm seeing all over that or X that we're not getting an alt season. That alt season's been cancelled and happens every cycle. So it's like, okay, when we start seeing this, we're going to be turning around soon. So bottom is almost in. You know, we might get one more small dip, but we're almost there because you guys are getting so restless. 95 days in this range for Bitcoin and counting. So yeah,
it feels like it.
That's so painful.
Yeah, it certainly does feel painful, but there does seem to be sentiment does seem to be maybe starting to turn around, and people are optimistic about where the market seems to want to go, and the facts seem to back that up as well, like the fundamentals as well.
Yeah, so they're starting to look good. We're starting to see a lot of adoption. We're starting to see a lot of big companies buying up. So if you're watching the daily updates in Getting Started in Crypto, you'll be getting updates on what companies are buying and, you know, literally how much. So it's a Bitcoin race at the moment. Who can have the most Bitcoin?
Okay. Should we have a look at the technical analysis then?
Yes, let's go to the TA rather than the FA because the FA's got FO. Because I know how you guys want tits and ass, so we'll go to the TA. So there we go.
Yeah.
That's what it technically stands for. Yeah, so 95 days sideways, boring in this range. We may get one more touchdown to this support, 93K, may not. So dips are for buying in this area, in my opinion. I've got a couple of cheeky orders down at 87 in case something happens and exchanges push it down. But Binance have finished selling by the looks of it. They've paid off the DOJ. We've got a lot of big industry buying Bitcoin. We've got the USA. All of the states are buying Bitcoin. So it's not just a national thing. All of the states are doing strategic reserves as well. So that is keeping this price here. We don't have any retail buyers at the moment. We haven't had any tether prints, not a lot of USDC prints. So when that kind of happens, we just go sideways. When we get those big prints, that's when we know we've got more liquidity coming into the market. And that's when you guys all want to be buying. So at the moment, you just want to be like taking little bits as it sort of dips down and just sort of getting your position ready for when this absolutely takes off. So I don't think we're far away. So If it absolutely goes the wrong way, 80K has got a strong support of the 200 MA and a long-term support just underneath. So, have a cheeky order down there just in case. You never know. Stranger things have happened. This is the daily chart. So if we move this up to the weekly, we can sometimes get a better idea of how sort of much we've got. But we do have that diamond pattern happening, and that is a super bullish pattern. So we love a diamond pattern. There we go. Look at that. Looking awesome. So, yeah, diamond hands for Bitcoin with the diamond pattern. And that's what we want to see. So it's looking really good. We're literally just filling out this range here. This is quantitative chart. It looks like quantitative easing is about to start. Once we get sort of into the swing of things, once Donald Trump is fully on board, this is all going to start kicking off, and we'll see the quantitative easing happening again. We're about sort of maybe this point in the market here where we've got another big run up, continuing up. We may not get this sideways in the next sort of run. This might be it here, and then we've just got a stronger run coming up. So this is a third wave. We're still in that super cycle. We're in a fourth wave or a subwave at the moment, and that's just being really super slow. So if we look to this being potentially our first wave and then our second wave, this is a subwave of maybe wave 1 of 3 if we've got a massive extension, or it could be the actual wave 1 of 3. And if we're looking at this as being the wave 1 of 3 and kind of getting a projection moving ahead, Bitcoin likes a 786 as the next stop. So that's about 250K. So potentially that's our next stop for BTC. If this is our third wave, that is just going to be like super explosive. And that's 168% move on BTC. So that's a massive, massive move for, what is now known as digital gold. So yeah, essentially that's what we're seeing. So it's looking pretty good for the longer term.
Okay, that does sound pretty good. Also for Ethereum as well, I think possibly a similar thing happening, especially with their news about to
Yeah, so
get underway.
we've got a Petra upgrade happening. So I believe we have a testnet. When was that, Josh?
I believe the test nets for that are February 24th and March the 5th, so in the next few weeks.
Okay, that's what we want to be watching on Ethereum, because if those test nets go really well, Ethereum's going to go really well, and we're going to start seeing some movement.
If they go really well, then April the 8th is when they hope to go live.
Yeah, so if we go live with that, we've got staking. So we've got a lot of staking coming out at the moment, just in case that testnet doesn't go as planned, and that always happens. So there may be some people moving to other coins like Solana and those sort of ones, because they have had bigger movements. BNB's just doing some upgrades at the moment, so that might actually have some bigger movements as well. We've got meme mania on that one as well. So it's all happening with the meme coins. But if we go to, this is ETH on the daily, and we can see on the stock, we're starting to curl up. This is the weekly, sorry, not the daily. So we're starting to curl up here, and that's a really strong sign that this is in for a larger movement. Dropping it down to the daily, where it kind of had up this on the top. It can sort of sit at the top for a little bit, but I would expect we've got one more pullback. It's looking like that across the board. Like I was saying on Bitcoin, could have one more pullback down there. And that's kind of what we're seeing. Capo has a ridiculous price on this one. So it's worth having an order down low, just in case. I think it was 1,800. he put up. So, you know, if everyone puts their orders at 1800, we're not going there. We're going to hold higher. The MACD has crossed and flipped. So our histogram is green on this. So this is a potential that this is not going to pull back. So just be aware of that. Because if we drop down through these ranges, we are starting to see more green. We've got a little bit of a pause on the 12-hour, which means, you know, minor pullback in this area. So I would be suggesting maybe we're just touching about 2,300 before we actually get that. And that is in line with those test nets. Test nets are going well, ETH will go well. Test nets don't go well. That's when you want to have a stop loss because it's going to like tank. So, you know, just keep an eye on that Petra upgrade because that's a very, very important upgrade for Ethereum moving forward. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Bitcoin dominance is starting to go on the move. It's probably going to retest about 63. So if you're in alts and Ethereum, that does tell me that we've got that one more pullback if we get that, you know, rise on the BTC dominance, because that acts as a seesaw. So dominance goes up, everything goes down, because that just means dominance means there's 63% of the money in Bitcoin. And then there's like 50 billion, zillion, quadzillion altcoins. And literally there's only, you know, 37% in all of them. All of them. That includes ETH, that includes Solana, that includes BNB, and then like all the millions of meme coins and whatever coins, you know, pop up on Solana or wherever. That is all of that money. So Bitcoin holds 63%, or will hold at the moment. It's about 60%. So yeah, so just be careful in alts. One more pullback looking like that across the board. But yeah, if you're sort of long-term hodler, you might get one more dip to just stock up a little bit more.
Okay, and I see you have got a few tabs open there for alts. So shall we go to a little advert break and then we can rush through those alts and see what's happening with them?
Can do.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Welcome back. Okay, so if you guys are not in getting started in crypto, you need to be. We've got scalp signals have started, so we've got margin trades as well now. So, we've been resisting that for such a long time, and we will educate you all how to do that. So, and we've got some really, really, really hugely awesome deals coming up with an exchange.
Yeah, lots of news for us as well. So keep your eyes peeled out for that as well. Okay, alts.
Hang on, before we go to alts, well, we want to, if you are, these are like just the proofs. They're not for resale, stamped with not for resale. But Trading Journal, this is the not so hardcover one, paperback. It has like literally notes in there for you, and then it's got daily pages that you can fill in all your notes. It's got how to build a portfolio, all how to plan it, everything. So you can find this on Amazon or on my website, Lisabot.trade. But this will help you trading. It is a 12-month journal, and you'll be able to like just track all of your trades and everything for 12 months, understand, you know, where the emotions kick in, what you're doing, and, you know, how to sort of fix that. It's got little tips and tricks all along the way, because, you know, we've been doing this for such a long time. We know where you guys all get stuck, especially when you're beginners. So yeah, check that out on BeLikeLisa.com. And while you're there, if you're new, sign up for the 21-day email that will, you know, gives you more tips and tricks on getting you started. Candles.
And that is free as well. Those emails are free, so all you need to do is pop your email address in there, and you will get a daily email for over the next 21 days on crypto mastery, written by Lisa, and the trading journal as well, available on Amazon. Also comes in 3 different colors, doesn't it? Pink, blue, grey. So yeah, so
grey is cheaper because grey doesn't have any colors to print.
So that available on Amazon, hopefully globally, I believe, as a paperback.
Yeah, globally.
Hardback. Yeah. BeLikeLisa.com. Go and check it out. Okay, cool.
Okay, let's jump into our alts at the moment. So I'm going to take some of these up to high time frames just to get an overall picture of what's going on. So you can see, like, at the moment, when we put them up to the higher time frame, they look like they're brand new coins. So this is essentially, it is 2023 is still very, very new in the whole scheme of things. So if we're looking at this as being our wave 1, perhaps this is a wave 3, or it could be wave 1 of 3. So if we take some measurements, we can see where we get some confluence on this and understand where we are in this pattern. We do look like we've got potential wave 4 forming, and I'll tell you why in a minute on this one. So let's have a look where we're getting some confluence when we start putting these on. Okay, so mill here because these are going to work on algos, and our first one down here. So for our wave, we're kind of looking at 23 coming up for SWE. When we draw this right out, we've got 39. So that could be a really good target for a longer term trade if you are hodling for SWE. The reason this could be a subwave of 2 at the moment, so a 4, could be a 4 because we're sitting around that 0.5 mark on the fibs. So depending on whether this is our 1, our 2, maybe our 1 of 3. So if it's a 1 of 3, we're going much higher. And, you know, when people say, where's alt season? I think we're about to get it. So that's 1,200% for the hodlers out there. Not sure if it'll be this run or the following run, but it's looking good. And when we've seen a lot of these movements, we have seen those percentages and more. So that might be a really conservative percentage coming up. So depending on how much money starts coming into the market. The next one is Zen. Now, it's broken out over the resistance. It's currently holding. It has support of the 200 MA in this region. So I expect the stock on the daily will crawl along the top. It does look like we might get a little minor pullback happening because our histogram on the MACD is starting to just, you know, pull back a little bit. These are lagging indicators, so that doesn't mean a hell of a lot. So if we drop that down to a 12-hour, we can see that we have the EMAs sitting underneath this region. So basically it needs to get up before these turn down. We don't want to see the 100 and 200 cross down because that would make it a little bit more difficult to get above those ranges. But yeah, and just retesting on the other side of this resistance is a good thing. So when we drop down to the 4-hour, I'd say the next resistance is about 17 to 18. And then as it can get above that, it's going to be good. So Zen's looking quite good. And we can see on the 4 hour, we're starting to get some a change of momentum. So that means those higher time frames will follow through. XNO, this is one that Nano for all the old people that have been here forever. So this Nano is XNO. And I used to put Batman like drawings on this one, so it was nano. Anyway, a long time ago when I used to do my chart art. Maybe I should bring that back. So let's go up to a daily. I'm just going to take some of this stuff off. See where we're going, because we had a very nice run on that last run. Take that down. Yes, take them off. It looks like we've got a leading diagonal, which is a sideways wave, and this is just a corrective wave in this region. So provided we hold anywhere above 1.17, that's the ideal range to hold, and then we should continue higher. But yeah, Nano is looking good. Let me give a projection here, because we've got some good momentum happening. Yeah, we can see that we've got a Am I back? Am I back?
I think so. We can hear you. The screen's catching up still. There we go. We're back.
There we go. I'm just chatting away to myself, and I looked over and I went, hang on a sec, I've got no signal.
I did wonder if it was me.
I did tell you guys
so
I might drop out.
But yeah, no, you're back. You
no,
should be
this
good.
is the magic of Wi-Fi and internet. So going back to Nano, might want to touch this chart. We've had good movement, is what I was saying. So we touched the 236, then to the 382. We normally head up to around the 786 on this next wave, so that's about 4.6. And then we're heading higher. We normally get up, if we can touch the 236, 1.236, that's 7. And the next after that is 9. So looking good for about $9 at the moment. Potentially $10 is a psychological number, so may just get there. It's still looking really good. I'm going to try and do these really fast so my internet doesn't drop out again. ENA has a resistance at 0.5, may have one more wave down. It's possible this could be the bottom, so we need to watch this region. We're currently holding all of the pivots, but as long as we can break out of that range, that is the ideal thing that we need to do. And then our next resistance is ETH5. We need to hold, so it does look like we've got a wave coming down. A lot of the stock RSIs on the daily are very, very high. So that does mean, we're going to get a pullback across the board at some stage this week. So 0.86 for that one is a good region. Needs to hold that support, or else it's going to get ugly. Ice, baby. I don't know why. It's just, every time I hear ice, I have to sing that song. It's just whatever. Josh is ignoring me. Have I dropped out?
No, you haven't dropped out.
No, I don't know.
I'm just ignoring you.
Okay, thank you. So if we do we've got some bullish divergence happening on the daily, which is a really strong sign. So we want to hold 0055 H bar, same as last week, or whoever I did this chart for on Twitter or in the group, Getting Started in Crypto. We've got the pullbacks happening. We're sitting at around that range. We should get one more wave up and then pull back to this level, which is 1.7. So that's a really good region. We're getting really low on all the indicators on the daily across the board. So we don't have much room to pull back on a lot of these alts. And we've got indicators that are really bullish. So this MACD is starting to turn up. So we're not far away from movement for HBAR. Litecoin, we've got some squiggles. This is going to follow Bitcoin. It's kind of in a very Bitcoin boring pattern, sideways forever. We've had about the same sort of sideways forever momentum on this, but looking good for a move up. It should get above the 250 mark in the next little while. Ava, now they've had some big stuff happening, and they've got some staking, and D-Travel had some staking happening as well. Looking really good, holding support. We've got a signal on this, which has already gone to target 1. EMAs are crossing on the 12-hour. That's a really strong sign that this is changing momentum and we're heading higher. Nexo, fueling out a very ugly head and shoulders, has touched in this range 3 times, should continue to hold and then head up, looking at about 2.24 for this one. The stinky linkies, following a very boring sideways kind of momentum pattern, but change that. Let me just take some of this stuff off. Gone. We've got 5 clear waves here, and if that's wave 1, we can get some projections for where we are going. It's held really good on this pullback, and it's held on the 200 MAs. So this is looking really strong for a really strong run over the bull run. And if we're following it going up to the 168 on my listener sheet, looking at 187. So that's a strong potential for this one. So we want to see, this was our wave 1. We want to see confluence in those regions. So you want to always check for confluence when you're looking at these charts for long term. See where that's going. Yeah, around that 187, we've got the 786. So that's got a strong confluence in that region. So likely to get there. So this is a good hodl, in my opinion. They've got a lot of work happening on Chainlink as well. So this is TEL. This is obviously 360's dream coin, and he's booming, like boom. Well, this is my chart from Twitter, and I'm going to say, boom, hit my target. So we're in the pullback range where we've got this wave here pulling back. So potentially it can come back about 50% in this range. At the moment, it's at the 236. If it does come back 50%, it's going to 0086. Now, like I was saying with Bitcoin, longer term, you want to have some orders, and if they don't pick up, then you can start laddering in later on. But this is a good region to start laddering on. I'd have some ladders at 86 and 96 just in case we get that pullback. Mina has probably one of the ugliest charts I've seen, but there was quite a few requests for this one on X from that post that I put. It did a lower low. It hasn't, I'm not sure if this is the bottom. It's starting to get bullish momentum, but it's not looking awesome. So this is not one I would be trading, unfortunately. Sorry, Mina. Rose keeps this support line. It really needs to hold. So that is sitting at 0 to 9. As long as the level holds, it is good to go, and it should start seeing momentum. So when we have a look at strength of coins, when we have a look at rows, and this is a weekly, I'm going to drop that down to the daily, just to some differences in the chart. So we can see the MAs are above. So this is a more bearish chart. When we drop back to link on the daily, we can see that we've got support of the MAs. So when you're looking for a long-term chart, you want to have a look what charts have got support, what charts are holding support, because they're going to show strength. They've got backing. They've got people actively buying these dips. So that's what you want to be actively looking for. When we go back to Litecoin, we can see there as well. So this is a 4-hour. I'll take that up to the daily to see where we're sitting with our MAs. And you can see that we've got support again on those MAs. So that's another one that you want to be buying. You want to be buying the ones that have the support. They have the buyers coming in, and they're going to be the ones that are going to make you money. So when you're looking at charts like Mina, unfortunately, I don't know what the project team is like or anything like that. So I'm just looking purely on a technical analysis, not on fundamentals, not on anything else. Purely TA here, and it doesn't have the strength of those 2 coins that I've just shown you. So, and that's what we're looking for when we're trading. So there we go. That was all of it. There was probably 100 more alts that people want to see, but there we go. I'm going to run out of breath.
Always more alts. But I think it feels like your Wi-Fi is breaking up a little bit. You're a bit pixelated, but I think we got there, and hopefully that was clear enough for everyone listening in. Any last thoughts before we wrap up, Lise?
I would just be looking, as I said, on those last sort of wrap up of the alts. Have a look through, go through timeframes and see where they're sitting on those support levels, whether they're sitting on diagonal supports or they're sitting on sort of like 100, 200 SMA supports. So that's a simple moving average, really easy to add if you've got TradingView, and just check out those patterns. And that's going to sort of determine what you're looking at longer term and what are going to be good movers.
Okay, fantastic. All right, thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks for watching on, and hopefully we got around to showing your charts. As always, if you want more charts, you can get them in gettingstartedincrypto.com. So sign up there if you haven't already. Otherwise, have a great week ahead.
And don't forget, we now have margin leverage trading in G6. So join us. It's going to be fun. Bye.
Bye.